Hi guys, welcome to Sourcing Classes. This is Hima Hegde presenting before you the Anthropological News Diary for the week.
To begin with, let us look at the topics under light for the week. The week as in 1st of May to 7th of May. So here are the main topics: archaeology, then the subtopics, similarly the tribal affairs, physical or biological anthropology, the same thing again, socio-cultural anthropology, followed by linguistic anthropology and anthropologist in news, where we have Margaret Mead. The details of each of these subtopics are provided in the Anthropological News Diary document, that is the A&D document, which you will find in the official website of Sourcing Classes, that is www.sourcingclasses.com. These documents are uploaded regularly on a daily basis. Do have a look. So moving on, here are the topics under light for today. Firstly, we have radiometric dating, which is a part of archaeology, then the sustainability lessons from tribals, the Down syndrome, which comes under epidemiological part of the anthropology, then the Vandan Vikas Kendras, that is a scheme for the tribal people. Firstly, we have the radiometric dating. What is radiometric dating? Now, radiometric dating is a method to establish how old something is. How old something is, perhaps a wooden artifact or a rock or a fossil, based on the presence of a radioactive isotope within it. Now, the basic logic behind it is you compare the presence of a radioactive isotope. Like I already said, that there is a radioactive isotope present within it. So the logic would be to compare the radioactive isotope within the sample to its known abundance on Earth and its known half-life. That is its rate of decay, and one can calculate the age of the sample. Now, radiometric dating is useful for finding the age of the ancient things because many radioactive materials decay at a very slow rate. So, what is radioactive decay? First of all, one needs to understand that the radioactive atoms are highly unstable, meaning they decay into daughter products. The number of protons or neutrons in the atom changes, leading to a completely different isotope. It leads to the formation of a different isotopes as the number keeps changing. The time it takes for one half of the atom to have decayed is referred to as half-life. I repeat, half-life is the time it takes for one half of the atoms to have decayed. We know the half-lives of the radioactive isotopes found on Earth, and hence it is possible to trace how long a radioactive material within an object has been decaying for. Some radioactive materials decay into daughter products that are also radioactive and have their own half-life. The result is called a decay chain, which eventually decays into a non-radioactive substance. So here are some of the types of radiometric dating. I'll read them out for you. Radiocarbon C14 dating, potassium-argon and argon-argon dating, uranium-lead dating, fission track dating, other types of radiometric dating. There are several other radioactive isotopes whose ratio can be measured to date rocks, including samarium, neodymium, rubidium, strontium and uranium thorium. Each of these have their own advantages and idiosyncrasies, but they rely on the same logic of radioactivity to work. Moving on, sustainability lessons from tribals. It is the same thing given here, that is, the nation can learn lessons on sustainability from marginalized tribal communities. Firstly, the systematic methods of locality drainage systems, crop rotational farming, rainwater harvesting, usage of earthen utensils and other rational methods have been practiced in every household community for thousands of years. They have only conveniently yet sustainably updated themselves without causing much harm to the world's ecological balance. For several years, the tribal communities have co-lived and protected nature, and it is high time for the world to take a note of sustainability from them. We have the Santals from West Bengal, Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. We have the Garo Khasi tribes of Northeast India. We have the Kamar tribe of Madhya Pradesh and the Kadar Karumba tribes of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Now all of them have left a steady trail of reference of how to live in peace with nature dexterously. So coming to the Santals, till date the Santals use earthen utensils and they live in mud huts. They live in mud huts which are way cooler than the concrete houses. And they are pantheists, that is, they have nature involved in every minute cultural expression from their dances to marriages. They use organic elements like fresh flowers and leaves to adorn themselves. The ethnic groups in the northeastern states have incorporated methods of farming, infrastructure building, reusing of resources in the most effective way. Their crop rotation and step farming methods prevent soil erosion and degradation. They reuse residues of wasted crops as dry ingredients for earthen ovens, which is financially feasible option, especially in poorer areas. Coming to the tribal communities in central India, the tribal communities in central India use hay to construct the houses. Hay is nothing but dried grass. They use hay to construct houses and shacks which are easily degradable. They also have effective ways of rainwater harvesting, especially during the dry seasons. Coming to the southern part of India, the tribes in the southern part of India have always used banana leaves. Now this tradition is getting common in the northern parts also, especially for feeding food to the guests. Now the country is facing multiple ecological problems at the moment, be it the breaking up of the Nanda Devi glacier in Uttarakhand's district or the earthquakes happening. What the country needs right now is an extensive understanding and usage of alternatives in the most sustainable way possible. The awareness of living a more conscious, kind and greener life is what the world needs right now. Moving on, we have Down syndrome, which is a part of epidemiology. So first thing is, what is Down syndrome? Down syndrome, sometimes called as the Down's syndrome, is a condition in which a child is born with an extra copy of their 21st chromosome. Hence its other name, trisomy 21. We'll read more about it later. Now this causes physical and mental developmental delays and disabilities. Many of these disabilities are lifelong and they can also have shortened life expectancy. However, people with Down syndrome can live healthy and fulfilling lives. Recent medical advances as well as cultural and institutional support for people with Down syndrome and their families have provided many opportunities to help them and overcome the challenges in this condition. So let us now look at the causes of the same. Firstly, in all cases of reproduction, both the parents pass their genes on to the children. Now these genes are carried in the chromosomes. When the baby's cells develop, when the development of the cells in the babies will take place, each cell is supposed to receive 23 pairs of chromosomes for 46 chromosomes in total. 23 pairs, 46 in total. Half of the chromosomes are from the mother and the other half are from the father. In children with Down syndrome, one of the chromosomes doesn't separate properly. The baby ends up with 3 copies or an extra partial copy of chromosome 21 instead of 2. This extra chromosome causes problems as the brain and physical features develop. Let us now look at the types. we have already mentioned the trisomy 21. Now this means that there is an extra copy of chromosome 21 in every cell, and this is the most common kind of Down syndrome. Next, we have the mosaicism. Now this occurs when a child is born with an extra chromosome in some but not all of their cells. People with mosaic Down syndrome tend to have fewer symptoms than those of the trisomy 21. Lastly, we have the translocation. In this kind of Down syndrome, children have only an extra pair of chromosome 21. There are 46 total chromosomes, however, one of them has an extra piece of chromosome attached. Lastly, we have the Vandan Vikas Kendra. So what exactly is Vandan Vikas Kendra? Let us learn about it. The initiative aims to promote the MFP-centric livelihood development of tribal gatherers and artisans. I repeat, the initiative aims to promote MFP-centric. What is MFP? Minimum forest produce. MFP-centric livelihood development of tribal gatherers and artisans. It mainstreams the tribal community by promoting primary level value addition to MFP at grassroots level. Now, what is the significance or the importance of the same? Through this initiative, the share of tribals in the value chain of non-timber forest produce is expected to rise from the present 20% to around 60%. Coming to the implementation part of it, the scheme will be implemented through Ministry of Tribal Affairs as nodal department at the central level and TriFed as the nodal agency at the national level. At the state level, the state nodal agency for MFPs and the district collectors are envisaged to play a pivot role in the scheme implementation at grassroots level. Next, locally, we have seen the national and the state level. Coming to the local level, locally the Kendras are proposed to be managed by a managing committee, that is an SHG, a self-help group, consisting of representatives of Vandan SHGs in the cluster. Lastly, we have the composition. As per the plan, TriFed will facilitate the establishment of MFP-led multi-purpose Vandan Vikas Kendras, a cluster of 10 SHGs comprising of a total 30 tribal MFP gatherers each in the tribal areas. So that's about it in today's video session. Hope you found it informative. For more details on the course, do log on to the official website of Sourcing Classes, that is www.sourcingclasses.com. Thank you.